Hi, Aqua Friends. I'm going to read you a story today called Amazing Grace. But before I read it, I wanted to talk to you about three important words. Excuse me. Three important words that you might know but might not. And I want to make sure you understand them because they're important to our story. Okay, the first word is in the title of our story. Amazing Grace. Do you know what amazing means? Those are all very good ideas, and you're right. Amazing is something exciting or something wonderful, okay? So amazing grace is like exciting or wonderful grace, all right? So remember that one in there. The second word I want you to remember is adventure. Adventure. What's adventure? Adventure is an experience that is super cool or exciting or dangerous even. An experience doing something that's exciting or fun or new, okay? That's adventure. And the third word I want you to remember is audition. Audition. Maybe you know these words already, but I just need to make sure because they're important to our story. All right, audition. That means when you try out for a part, something, maybe a musical, a play, so maybe a role as an actor or a musician. You're trying out, you want this part. So pay attention to that word too, audition. When we're done with our story, I'm going to ask you about some of those words, these words that we talked about just now. Okay? So enjoy the story, Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, written by Mary Hoffman, pictures by Caroline Bench. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her, or told to her, or even made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were from books, or movies, or even out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved all stories. And after she'd heard them, and even sometimes when they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went to battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy and sailed the 7 seas with a wooden leg and a parrot. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, why, she played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Sometimes she would get Mommy and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they were going to do a play, Peter Pan. Ooh-wee, Grace knew right away who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, you can't be Peter. That's a boy's name. Grace didn't listen. She kept her hand up. You can't be Peter Pan, Natalie said. He doesn't have your skin color. But Grace kept her hand up. All right, the teacher said, I can see that lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we will have auditions next week to choose parts. She gave them all words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. Mommy said, What's the matter? Raj said I could not be Peter Pan because I'm a girl. Aha, that just shows you how much Roz knows. A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to, Mommy said. Grace cheered up, but then later she remembered something else. Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because my skin color is different, she said. Ooh, Mommy did not look happy. She looked quite angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, It seems like Natalie is another one who just doesn't know. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it. On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and a train into the city. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet with sparkling lights. Are we going to the ballet, Nana? Asked Grace. We are, honey, but first I want you to look at this picture. Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer it said, Stunning New Juliet. That one there is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad, said Nana. Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes. After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. I can be anything I want, she thought. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was the best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She'd been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt at all who would be the very best Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You were wonderful, whispered Natalie. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, I feel like I could fly all the way home. Mommy laughed. You probably could. And Nana said yes. If little Grace puts her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. Okay, I hope you enjoyed Amazing Grace. Let's talk about the story a little bit. First of all, let's review our words that we talked about before Miss Julie read the story. We talked about amazing. Did you hear the word amazing in our story? Yes. Amazing grace. And we said that amazing means something surprising or wonderful, right? So amazing is something surprising or wonderful. Here are the words. That's the definition. That tells us what it means, all right? I have a picture. Do you remember our friend Finny? Well, this is a picture of our friend Finny. Finny made something in the aqua room once that was amazing. I thought it was surprising and wonderful that he put all these pieces together to make a giant platform for our Zoophonics poster. He worked really hard that day, and I thought it was wonderful. It was amazing. So that's a picture to go along with our word amazing. Something surprising or wonderful. All right. Another word that we learned before I read the story was adventure. Adventure. And we learned that an adventure is an exciting, new, maybe dangerous experience. Here are the words. And in our story, the main character had lots of adventures. Can you think of some of the adventures that she had? I can. She went on adventures pretending she was a pirate, One, she was pretending she was a spider. I'm not sure about that one. She was a doctor taking care of her mommy and her Nana. Adventures. Oh, I forgot to show you this picture. Here's a picture of some friends. These are some older friends in the aqua room. They made superhero masks and they were going on a superhero adventure. Remember, that's something exciting, new, maybe even a little dangerous. Adventure. And the last word we talked about, friends, that might be new to some of you was audition. And we said audition is when you try out for a part, a role, or a job as a singer, an actor, a dancer, a musician, something like that. Here are the words for our definition. And I have another picture to show you. Again, some older friends in the aqua room. Maybe you'll recognize they're Silas's brother, Samuel. They're trying out to be singers and musicians on our aqua room stage. Audition. Do you remember what our main character in our story was trying out? What part she wanted to play? Okay, save it in your brain. Let's talk about the characters in our story real quickly. I forgot to mention that. We know that there are 3 main characters in our story. Main characters means the one the story is mostly about. So let's talk about the biggest one, though. Who's the biggest character in our story? If you can tell me on the count of 3, let's shout it out together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Grace! Grace is our main character in the story. This is little Grace. And we know that Grace is amazing, right? She is amazing. I just asked you a minute ago, there was a part that Grace wanted to audition for. Do you remember what that part was? Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Peter Pan! Peter Pan, she was super excited to try out for that part, thought she would be great. Now, she did have some friends who said to her, you can't be Peter Pan. Do you remember why? One friend said she couldn't be Peter Pan because Peter Pan was a boy and Grace is a girl. Grace didn't listen. Another friend said, but Grace, your skin is a different color. Grace didn't listen. She was a little sad by those things, but her Nana, there's another character in our story, friends, her Nana. Her Nana is her grandmother. She calls her Nana. Nana said, Grace, you can be anything you want to be as long as you put your mind to it, right? That's right. So Grace worked really hard to get ready for her audition as Peter Pan. Do you remember what Nana did with Grace? What did Nana do with Grace? She took her somewhere special. She took her to the ballet, that's right, to show her that you can be anything that you want as long as you put your mind to it and work very hard. That's right. Now, we have one more main character in our story, and that is Gracie's mommy. There's mommy. And Grace liked to have her adventures with Grandma, Nana, and Mom, right? Sometimes she pretended she was their doctor taking care of them. That's right. Now, friends, did Grace work really hard to practice to become Peter Pan? And at the end of our story, what happened? All of the friends thought that Grace made a wonderful Peter Pan, and she got to have the role of Peter Pan for their school play. So, okay, friends, we're going to come back and read this story again this week. So I hope that you can really think about the words that we learned today: amazing, adventure, auditions. Now, I have one more challenge for you. I would like you to think of an adventure that you've had. Think of an adventure that you've had. And I would like for you to draw me a picture or tell me a little bit about the adventure that you have. Have moms and dads help you to write it down and then send it to Miss Julie. Then we'll talk about the adventures that you've had, just like Grace. All right. Goodbye, friends.